The rumors persist. Was the president actually born in the U.S.? And if he wasn't, what does that say about President Chester Alan Arthur? Who did you think I was talking about? Our 21st president, Chester Alan Arthur, is remembered as much for his outlandish facial hair as he is for his outlandish facial hair.
It's really awful. I would have been cutting those off in his sleep.
Yeah, no, it's a little much. But when Arthur became president in 1881, the whispers surrounding him were about more than his whiskers. Democrats claimed that Arthur, a Republican, wasn't born in Vermont, as he maintained, but in Canada, which according to the Constitution made him ineligible for the Oval Office. The charge was never proven, but even today there are those who say it's true.
So this is the birthplace of Chester A. Arthur, 1829.
Heather Darch says that Arthur was born in this modest house in the town of Bedford, in French-speaking Canada, just 15 miles north of the U.S. border. It's not often that a presidential birthplace comes up for sale.
I know. I think Americans could come up here and own a piece of Americana very easily.
And you are fairly convinced that he was born here?
Yeah, I am actually. I really do believe that Chester A. Arthur was America's first Canadian president.
Okay, this is basically the research room.
Just down the road in the village of Stanbridge East, Darch and Judy Antle oversee the region's archives. If we're investigating the question of where Chester Arthur was actually born, this is a good place to come?
This would be the place to come, yes.
This much we know. Chester's father, William Arthur, was an itinerant minister and teacher who traveled back and forth across the very porous border. And when his son, the future president, was born, this was a schoolhouse.
Right.
Where Chester Alan Arthur's father was teaching in 1829?
Right, exactly.
The year that he was born?
Right.
Right here in Canada?
Exactly. Our records indicate that this house has always been known as the White House.
Ironic.
Yeah, very.
What's more, the family of Chester's mother, Malvina, was living nearby in Canada at the time of his birth.
Malvina, we know, already had children, so she would have needed someone to look after the children while she was nursing a new baby. So very likely that she went to her mother for help and assistance. So yes, it's very likely that Chester was born here.
And then there's this. Chester Alan Arthur lied about the year of his birth till the day he died. And he refused to answer questions raised by the birthers of his time.
If he was born in the States, why was it such a big cover-up? Why didn't things just come out into the open? Why is it still an issue right now, and why is it still a mystery?
Not surprisingly, 30 miles south in Fairfield, Vermont, the locals at Chester's Bakery stand by their namesake as made in America. Now, the people over in Quebec that we've spoken to, the Canadians say that they know that he was born over there.
Fairfield people know that he was born here. We have a pamphlet right in the window said, born in Fairfield.
Well, they've got pamphlets in Canada.
They must have lied.
Granted, the pamphlets are in French, so I couldn't...
So you couldn't read it, right? Ours are in English, and it says, born here in Fairfield.
We travel down Chester Arthur Road to the Chester Arthur Historic Site, which used to be called the Birthplace, to investigate. Do you think there's at least a chance that he was born in Canada?
No. Well, yes, there is a chance, but I doubt it.
John Dumville is in charge of Vermont's historic sites. Is it possible that Chester Alan Arthur was born in Kenya?
No. Come on.
Fairfield's town clerk, Amanda Forbes, showed us this record indicating that Chester's father, William, was elected to a local school board months before his son's birth in 1829. This is sort of as good as it gets in terms of evidence.
Right, we don't have any concrete birth certificate. I wish we did, but we don't.
The truth may be lost to time and to the fact that Chester Alan Arthur burned all of his papers right before he died. What would the average Canadian say if he or she found out that Chester Arthur was actually Canadian?
I think they would first have to tell them who he was.
They probably don't have any idea.
And then they might be pretty thrilled.
I think
you know?
they'd be pleased.